Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In this video, we will study about the wildlife conservation projects in India. So, we know that the Indian landmass is a home to a wide variety of flora and fauna. India has an amazingly wide variety of wildlife, animals and plants that live in diverse habitat of the country. But unfortunately, the irresponsible interference of the humans with the ecosystem has led to the loss and extinction of many of the species. Poaching of many of the wild animals in India has seriously impacted the probability of survival of these animals in India. Major wildlife crime in India includes poaching of tigers, rhinos, and tortoises. However, there are strict laws against poaching in India, but still wild animals are being killed illegally for their skin, fur, horns, tusks, etc. According to a report, India lost about 154 tigers to the illegal wildlife trade and poaching in 5 years between 2017 to 2021. Similarly, a number of elephants, rhinos, leopards, and many other wild animals were killed by poachers and due to human-animal conflicts in the recent years. Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The Wildlife Protection Act 1972 is an act of the Parliament of India enacted for protection of plants and animal species. The main object of the act is to provide protection to the wild animals, birds, and plants. The act empowers the central government to declare certain areas as sanctuaries or national parks. The act prohibits hunting of wild animals, birds, etc., and impose punishment for violating the same. Project Tiger. In the IUCN Red List, the protection status of Royal Bengal tiger is endangered. Project Tiger is a tiger conservation program launched in November 1973 by the Government of India during Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's tenure. The project aims at ensuring a viable population of the Bengal tiger in its natural habitat, protecting it from extinction, and preserving areas of biological importance as a natural heritage that represent the diversity of ecosystems across the tiger's range in the country. Project Crocodile Conservation. The Crocodile Conservation Project was introduced in the year 1975. The chief objective of the project was to protect the nation's 3 rare crocodilian species: the freshwater crocodile, gharial, and the saltwater crocodile. The gharial and the saltwater crocodile conservation program was first implemented in Odisha in the early 1975, and subsequently the Magar conservation program was initiated. Project Elephant. In the IUCN Red List, the protection status of the Asian elephant is endangered. Project Elephant is a central government sponsored scheme launched in the year 1992. Through the Project Elephant scheme, the government helps in the protection and management of elephants to the states having wild elephants in a free-ranging population. The objectives of the project are to protect elephants, their habitat and corridors, to address issues of man-animal conflict, welfare of captive elephants, and to promote not to harm the elephants for their tusks. Project Rhino. In the IUCN Red List, the protection status of one-horned rhinoceros is vulnerable. Project Rhino was launched in the year 2005 to protect and conserve the rhinos. The Indian Rhino Vision 2020 project aim to achieve a wild population of at least 3,000 greater one-horned rhinos spread across 7 protected areas in the Indian state of Assam by 2020. Project Vulture. In the IUCN Red List, the protection status of the Indian vulture Gyps indicus is critically endangered. The Indian vulture Gyps indicus is an old world vulture native to India, Pakistan, and Nepal. With India losing more than 95% of its vulture population between the 1990s and the mid 2000s, conservation efforts were urgently needed to prevent vultures from becoming extinct. The Government of India launched Project Vulture in 2006 to increase the population of Indian vultures. Project Snow Leopard. The snow leopard is classified as vulnerable on the IUCN World Conservation Union's Red List of Threatened Species. In the year 2009, the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change launched Project Snow Leopard to promote an inclusive, participatory, and landscape-based approach to conserving snow leopards and their habitat in India. Project Snow Leopard is intended for all biologically significant habitats within the snow leopard's range, regardless of ownership, example, protected areas, common land, etc. Project Great Indian Bustard. In the IUCN Red List, the protection status of the Great Indian Bustard is critically endangered. With an objective of conserving of the remaining populations of critically endangered Great Indian Bustard, Adeotis nigriceps, an ambitious conservation program, namely Project Great Indian Bustard, was launched by the government of Rajasthan in the year 2013. It has been launched by the Rajasthan government with an aim of constructing breeding enclosures for the species and developing infrastructure to reduce human pressure on its habitats. Project Cheetah. The Project Cheetah is an ambitious project undertaken by Indian government which aims to re-establish the species in its historical range in India. In September 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi released a coalition of the cheetahs into the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. It was the first intercontinental transfer of wild cats into India since independence. The proposal for the project, known as Project Cheetah, was prepared in 2008 to 2009 under the then PM Manmohan Singh. This is all for the day today. Thank you.